I'm going to play that for you coming up next on the Mark Levin Show. Ben Ferguson filling in. We'll be right back.
From the Westwood One Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, this final hour of the podcast is sponsored exclusively by AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. Now over 2 million conservative members strong, AMAC believes in and stands up for the values that we care about: faith, family, and freedom. Thank you for listening, and please support AMAC. And you can become a member at amac.us/join.
He's here. He's here. Now, broadcasting from the underground command post, deep in the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
Lies, lies, and more lies. Welcome. It is the Mark Levin Show. Ben Ferguson filling in for the great one. And what we know now is that the entire case, not just on Russian collusion and the James Comey corruption and the Mueller investigation team corruption, Adam Schiff corruption, what we've known is that the DNC and the Democratic Party did everything they could to take down the president, knowing that there were crimes that had been committed. These transcripts are getting more and more and more damning by the day. One other thing about this interview with Flynn that everybody should talk about is Flynn was not awarded the same type of treatment that Hillary Clinton got when she was actually being investigated for crimes. And we know all of this because of the words of the FBI director, his own words. Not having to read notes, literally his own words. Where he went on TV, or went on stage, I should say, and bragged about breaking FBI protocol. Bragged about basically getting to screw over the Trump campaign to get these FBI agents in the White House. Saying that this would never have happened under any other group of individuals. At the White House under Bush or under Obama. And Trey Gowdy, I think, summed this up in a great way on Fox. And I want to play this audio for you. He was asked about this double standard. And I want you to hear what he had to say about it, because it is truly disgusting what happened here. Take a listen.
At the Journal here now, Trey Gowdy, Fox News contributor and former chairman of the House Oversight Committee. Trey, welcome. Good to have you here.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
What do you think? Were the notes and was the investigation of General Michael Flynn at the White House routine for the FBI and for the agents who carried it out?
I hope not, Martha. And if it is routine, then why didn't they apply the same standard to Hillary Clinton that they did to Michael Flynn? I mean, if you go back, so Flynn's under investigation in the summer of 2016, a counterintelligence investigation. The FBI found nothing. They didn't find an insufficient amount of evidence. They found no evidence, and they're about to close this investigation, and then he has the conversation with Kislyak. So Comey decides to send bureau agents to the White House. Why? I mean, that's the fundamental question. Were you investigating a crime, the Logan Act, which there's never been a prosecution under that act, or were you conducting a counterintelligence investigation? If it's a criminal interview, then why did you treat him so differently from the way you did Hillary Clinton? Remember, Martha, she had a medium-sized law firm in the room with her. They gave the questions to her lawyers before they interviewed her, and they most assuredly told her there's a consequence for lying, none of which they did for Michael Flynn.
So I spoke with KT McFarland last night, who was his deputy, General Flynn's deputy, and she says, that it really, beyond Flynn, they were hoping that if they pressed him hard enough and put him in a tough enough position and held some of his earlier comments against what he said there, that he would flip on President Trump, that he would give up some goods on the president. Do you agree?
Well, I do for this reason. There's also a notation in these documents released this week to use that defensive briefing as a pretense, as a ruse. So everyone that's offered a defensive briefing by the FBI, keep that in mind. They may be interviewing you. Remember, Comey did the same thing with Trump. He gave this defensive briefing on the dossier, but he was really interviewing him. They still thought Donald Trump was colluding with Russia when they went to interview with Michael Flynn. So I have every expectation they wanted to flip Flynn on the president. The problem was no one with the campaign was colluding with Russia. It wasn't Flynn, it wasn't Trump, it wasn't Papadopoulos. They were wrong about all four of their crossfire hurricane targets.
Right. So
let me just jump back in here real quick. I want to hit pause for a moment. Think about what he just said. He just said everybody they targeted, they were wrong about all of them with collusion. Did Manafort get in trouble for things that had nothing to do with Russia collusion? Yes. Papadopoulos, was he set up? Yes. All of the people they went after and they charged with crimes, none of them dealt with actual Russian collusion. And by the way, that also includes what they charged Flynn with, or the deal that they were trying to get, forcing him into submission. What he's saying here is, look at the big picture, everybody. Pay attention to what's happening here, everybody. The FBI was weaponized by the Obama administration under the leadership of James Comey and people like Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, McCabe, the list goes on. And it was weaponized for one reason only, to take down Donald Trump and to get anybody they could to help take him down. That's what this was all about. 1-877-381-3811. Go ahead and hit play for the end of this.
Robert Mueller and the investigation, 2 years and millions of dollars, was finished, and we got the report. Where were these notes that we're seeing now?
They were not turned over. They have to be turned over if you're going to trial. There's a little bit of debate about it, but I think most people will tell you Brady does not implicate guilty pleas. So when Michael Flynn said, I'm going to plead, they didn't have to turn over the notes. But, Martha, this is not the department of let's see if we can get away with it. And it's not the department of let's see who we can get fired. It is the Department of Justice. Sally Yates, who is hardly a Republican, was infuriated when she found out what Comey had done. So that's the Department of Justice. We don't care if you're an R or D. We don't care whether we like you or we don't. We're going to treat you the same. Mueller's folks did not turn over these documents because they didn't think they had to.
Yeah. With regard to the Durham investigation, because all of this happens with that as a backdrop now, and the reason that we're seeing these documents and that they were released is because of a subsequent investigation or review of the Michael Flynn situation that was spurred on by the Attorney General, Bill Barr, and the Missouri attorney. So what does this tell us about what is coming? Because we're also told that Barr and Durham are in pretty regular discussion about the Durham investigation.
Yeah, I think the Attorney General and U.S. Attorney Durham are both very interested in how this whole sordid affair began. So the four targets, let's just go with Flynn. All right, you're going to put a general under counterintelligence investigation by the world's premier law enforcement agency. Why? What is the factual predicate where you think you have the power to put him under counterintelligence investigation for being an agent of Russia? What was it? I mean, did he read a Chekhov novel? Did he watch Dr. Zhivago? Why did you put Michael Flynn under counterintelligence investigation? I think that's what Durham and Barr are getting at, is none of these investigations were sufficiently factually predicated. And if that's true, then you're going to see a clamping down on the power that we've given the FBI, and it's about damn time.
Let me jump back in here because what he just said there is absolutely right. No, ma'am. He's absolutely right. And the question that he was just asked, this last question, I want you to hear this. And Ms. Producer, we'll back it up maybe 3 seconds. Let me know when it's ready. One of the things that he was asked here at the very end is, do you think there will be any prosecutions of people like Peter Strzok, James Comey, Clapper, Brennan, these others, that put all this hoax together, that weaponize the full power of the government, the full power and all the resources of the U.S. government at their disposal, to go out there and to, say one thing on TV and do another thing behind closed doors, saying the opposite of what they said under oath, and now we found out what was really going on at the beginning of this. This was a hoax from the beginning. It was corrupt from the beginning, and they used our tax dollars to try to destroy a president that the American people chose to elect. Somebody said today, Limbaugh, I think it was, said today, it's not illegal to lie on television. But these people ought to be finished. There ought to be nobody left in this country that would hire any of them after what we are reading with our own eyes. I'm going to let you hear the last part about how screwed up it is that you can't be prosecuted for what these people did. And we're also being told there's going to be new documents, more documents that are going to be released implicating the Obama administration in all of this Russian collusion. This is going to get to be a much bigger story than it even is right now, and you better get ready for it. And I'm saying that to the Democrats, and I'm saying it to all these scumbags at the top of the FBI under the Obama administration that weaponized our government to overthrow the will of the people who elected Donald Trump. 1-877-381-3811. Ben Ferguson filling in for the great one. We'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is one of the fastest-growing organizations in America, now over 2 million conservative members strong, and I'm one of them. AMAC believes in and stands up for the values that we constitutional conservatives care about. More than talk, AMAC fights. A full-time presence in Washington, AMAC pushes back against reckless spending, disasters like Medicare for All, and the expanding reach of the federal government. And beyond advocacy, joining AMAC gives you access to a wealth of benefits and discounts, including special member-only rates on car insurance, travel discounts, cell phone plans, and a hell of a lot more. And if that's not enough, you'll get AMAC's bi-monthly magazine, full of insightful articles on issues that matter to most of us, we conservatives. As I said, I'm an AMAC member, and you should be too. Join today at amac.us. That's AMAC.us. Stop supporting the liberal agenda that the other 50-plus organization has been pushing for. Join AMAC instead. AMAC.us.
Welcome back. It is Ben Ferguson filling in for the great one, Mark Levin. Nice to have you with us tonight. And I want to get back to the big conversation, and that is we now know that there are apparently going to be even more documents coming out that are going to be very damaging to the Obama White House when exactly what they did when it comes to trying to set up and create crimes out of thin air against people like Michael Flynn. In fact, former Obama defense official has admitted under oath that she lied on MSNBC about having Trump-Russia collusion evidence. But don't worry, apparently it's not against the law to lie on TV. A former Obama administration defense official admitted under oath that she lied during an MSNBC interview about having evidence that Trump campaign staff was colluding with the Russians, according to a newly released transcript of her testimony. The woman who served as the deputy assistant secretary of defense for Russia, Ukraine, and from 2012 to 2015 said during the MSNBC appearance in March of 2017 that she had been urging colleagues and congressional lawmakers to gather up evidence of Trump-Russia collusion before Obama left office. She said she feared that the Trump administration officials might destroy the alleged evidence if they found out what we knew about the Trump staff's dealing with the Russians. Now, she made this claim on TV, and again, it's not against the law to lie on TV. But what we do know is that she was lying on TV, The documents clearly show that this Obama administration official sang a very different tune during her sworn testimony before the House Select Committee on June the 26th, 2017. The chairman of the committee at the time, Trey Gowdy, was pressing her on her claims of collusion evidence during the MSNBC interview.